I wish studying could be easy. Now, when I think about my journey to cum laude, it looks like it was all just I wake up, I study, and I passed. No ways. Now, with cum laude came a lot of challenges. Now, not just with cum laude, any time you are studying, basically just studying in general, has its own issues. Hi guys, welcome to Accounting with Naomi. It's another edition, part two of my journey to cum laude. Right, in this video, I want to talk about my challenges. What were the challenges that I incurred while doing my qualification in BCom? I'm still gonna do a video on CTA. How was my CTA? Please stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm gonna do a video on CTA, how my CTA was. But today, we are still talking about my Bachelor of Accounting Science, my degree, BCom. All right. So, journey to cum laude. All right. I did tell you what I did to be able to obtain my degree with distinction. I did tell you guys. But today, I want to talk about the challenges. What were the challenges? And I understand everywhere, worldwide, everybody that are studying right now have these challenges. The number one challenge you will ask yourself, do I really need this? Do I really need this? Is this really worth it? Now, I want to answer that. I know that question, we're all going to come across it at some point when it gets too much. We're all going to come across that question like, do I really need this? But yes, God, yes, you do need it. That is why you are there. So just ask yourself, remind yourself why you started, all right? So that you can continue going. For me personally, my number one challenge was money. Yes, affordability. Let me just say, affordability was my number one challenge. So number one is affordability. That was my number one challenge. Being able to pay for the study fees on time, being able to buy study material. I mean, your prescribed textbooks, right, on time, getting a laptop, and all those things. So affordability was an issue. So I knew at that point, I knew that when I'm going to start university, I need to do work. Right. So you need to put some work in place, guys. There are part-time work that you can do. So what I did, I started doing one-on-one tutoring. Yes, one-on-one tutoring. I started with high school, right? So there was this, it's called Gatsby. There was this website I went to, Gatsby. It's a tutoring center. They do one-on-one home tutorial. So you actually go to the client's home and you teach them at the comfort of their home, all right? And then you charge them per hour. They give you your portion. It goes directly, so they'll pay into the account of Gatsby, and then they will then give you the amount that you guys agreed. So you go to the website, you register, they send you clients, you go and visit the client. Sometimes you have to meet them first, and then you start teaching. Start teaching. That is when you actually start earning. All right, you start earning when you start teaching. Okay, so it is like that. That's what I did. I did that. I also sold perfumes, guys. I sold perfumes as well. So I joined, it's a promotion company, all right? So they will send you to different stores. You go to Woolies, you go to Fashini, you go to True Words, you go to all these luxury brand stores, and then you sell perfumes. So you promote it, you sell it. They teach you how to promote, they teach you about the fragrance itself, what it's about, and then you teach. So I did that. I did this job. I did other small job in between as well, just to raise money for the fees. So at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of sacrifice that you have to do, guys, because that money has to be go to fees and to maintain your studies. So it means that you're gonna have to say goodbye to a lot of things. You're gonna have to say goodbye to fashion. You're gonna have to say goodbye to all the things you love. I mean, for that time, okay, unless if you can afford. I'm talking to people who also have the same challenge, affordability. So that is just one challenge I had. So yeah, that one. So I had to do many jobs and still come back to work. My main challenge before I started this tutoring job I'm talking about, I used to work at a warehouse. In the warehouse, I was working the whole night, guys, like the whole night until 5 o'clock. You are up, and then I have to come sleep a little and then study during the day. Now it made me sick. It made me sick. I was sick. I couldn't even study anymore. I couldn't. So I had to leave it and find this job. So that was number one. Number two, the work will get too much, guys. It's gonna get too much. All right. Almost all the modules that are under this qualification are long and requires a lot of work. And you can't say this one is not important, this is important. You have to give it, all of them, give them energy. Of course, there are modules that are not as important as others. Not important, Not as difficult, yes, that's the word. They're not as difficult as the others, but you need to give it attention. So what you need to do is to break down the things. You know that, okay, I need to put a lot of energy in the main modules, which are your financial accounting modules, your management accounting modules, your tax, right, your economics. Those ones need to be given energy. Then there are things like business studies, especially in your first year, business studies, commercial studies, and all those things. You can just say, okay, I'm putting more energy here. This one I'll see it maybe once a week or once in 2 weeks or something. But plan it, guys. Planning is important, so you plan it. So we have all that. It gets too much. And if you are a last minute person who likes to study last minute, I don't advise you. If you are a last minute person, really, for you to graduate with distinction may be very almost impossible. You have to plan your things and study on time. All right. But if you wait for the last minute to just come and put things together, I would understand if you are going to classes. If you are attending classes and you're writing down notes, you're listening to this thing, then you study it last. I would understand because you've already prepared yourself. When you're going to class, you have materials, you have things summarized and stuff like that. Then you come last minute to that. I understand. That's okay. But if you are like sitting and waiting for when it's now assignments are due or when now exams are due for you only to start working, then no, guys, no. All right, so let's continue. So let's get too much. It's gonna be pressure. Just make sure you plan. And the urge to study. Sometimes you don't feel like studying. You want to study, but you don't feel like studying, especially when it gets hot. Guys, when it gets hot and you're just suffocating, you just can't study. My God, I understand you have been there. Sometimes you just force yourself, you usually force yourself into it. It doesn't work. That is why in my previous video, I did advise studying at night. So that's another reason. Studying at night, really, that quiet, that the refresh that is there. It's not hot. So you're able to study. All right. And then winter times are good for studying. Although your feet will get really cold and all that, just have to wear warm. But during summer, it's hot and studying can be difficult. Sometimes you fall asleep. It's okay. You sleep, you wake up. Just continue. Just don't give up. Okay, so basically that was number 2. Number 3, sometimes especially at a long distance university like UNISA, there's no help. Sometimes there's no help. You're just on your own. And you don't understand what you're studying. Sometimes you don't feel like studying. There's nobody to help you, and you're just alone. What can you do? There's no help. That is why I was saying, guys, go to campuses and just talk to people around, create groups, join the UNISA groups, just to have these people that you can actually ask questions from. Or, sometimes UNISA will not be able to give you everything. Sometimes you just feel like you don't know anything and you don't understand anything. That is the importance of joining those groups, okay? Sometimes there is just no help and you just don't know where to go. Who to go to. Sometimes you're just stuck here. You don't know who to ask. Especially if you're coming from high school and you're used to having teachers every day in class. If you have issues, you just run to the teacher. No help. All right. That was number 3. Number 4, guys, the fact that there is no class. All right. I did say there are classes. Sometimes you get those facet class once in a while. If you are going to campus, there are also some modules that have classes. I think the financial accounting modules have classes, but it's like maybe in 1 hour, maybe like once a week or twice a week or something like that. But for you to know this information, you have to be constantly going to the campus. If you do not go to campus at all and you're studying at home, there's absolutely no class. You wait for facets. If you tried studying, you don't understand, and there's no class. All right. Remember the solution again, get study partners. You can also email the lecturer. I used to do that. So I ended up emailing the lecturer and I feel like I'm really stuck and there's no class, there's nobody. I email the lecturer. Sometimes they respond early, sometimes they don't, but you just have to be patient and wait. Just continue studying other things and then you come. Okay, so that's another challenge, especially in a long distance university like UNISA. That's another challenge. Right, the last one is the pressure, guys. Pressure. Sometimes everything will be due. All the assignments are due. You are writing tests in between, and the exam is coming up. You are under serious pressure. You can't keep up. You can't even sleep. Even if you want to, you can go to bed, but you can't because you know that you have work to do. All right. So it is like that. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just can't. The pressure. So guys, you have to be prepared for pressure. That's another challenge. There is serious pressure. If you cannot handle the pressure at a degree level, what about CTA? Guys, CTA is pressure. CTA equals pressure. Period. It equals pressure. So if you can't handle the pressure at the undergrad, in postgrad, you may just give up. Okay, so you have to find a way to really handle your pressure. And that's what I'm saying. Planning in advance is always good. Studying consistently. I'm not saying every day per se. It's going to be every 2 days, every 3 days, but you're studying consistently. Don't put your books away waiting for assignments to be due. Don't put your books away waiting for tests to be due. Don't put your books away waiting for the exams to come. Nah. If you want to get a cum laude, I didn't do that. Remember, I did multiple jobs, but I'll still come back and study. So during the day, I will use it for work, for work, and then at night, I'm studying. It worked for me, and I graduated with distinction. You too, you can. That is why I'm here to encourage somebody. Don't give up, guys. Don't give up. If I could do it, you too, you can do it. Okay, guys? So please put in the work. Don't be a last minute person and go out and get those distinction. Road to cum laude. See you guys on part 3. Subscribe, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you want to get more content. Subscribe. Please like this video. Share it with somebody else. Share it with another student, with somebody else as well who's also planning into studying. Share it with them, guys. See you on the next video. Bye. Don't forget to comment.